Hey, welcome to Hooked Analytics. I'm Remi, and thanks for joining me. I want to today talk a little bit about Linux Mint because in the weeks past, I've been doing stuff with Manjaro and Fedora. Today or yesterday, this past week, I've been playing with Zorin, and I'm telling you, I can't find anything that compares to Linux Mint. So I'm going to go through some of the stuff. So stay right here. We're going to go through some Linux Mint stuff uh, and why I love it so much. Uh, yeah. So stick around. We're going to get right into this. If this is the kind of material you like, then subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe notification button so that you see what's going on. Um, Come join the community that Linux is. This is a great place to be, and nobody in the real world will even know you're here. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm going to take the opportunity to go uh, through the similarities of Linux and Windows. It's going to be a short video. And actually, that's not true. There's a lot of similarities. A lot of Linux people don't like to say that. Uh, the similarities are basically how you set up your desktop. I set mine up so that it's almost or pretty close to what I was familiar with the last Windows operating system that I ran, which was Windows 7. And here it is. Looks okay. Um, Power button, shut it down. Hibernate, uh, restart, shut down, cancel. Um, Normally when I click on that, it gives me the option to um, suspend, which is hibernate. But because I've got active things in the background, it won't. And so I don't even want to risk that. The logout screen is log out or switch users. Right here, switch user or logout. Um, my I never understood, um, and I think it's a it's a it's a kind of a business thing or a corporate thing where many different people might log into the same computer to use things and for trackability and traceability so they know who to blame the accounting errors on. Um, but for your home computer, I mean, who sets up multiple users? If you do, put a comment on it. Tell me why. Why would I want to log in with one or the other? Um, and I can imagine what some of the suggestions would be, and maybe we're gonna try it. So that's that. This one here, what the hell? Lock screen. And again, in your house, why would you do that? Um, unless you got something to hide, lock the screen. Screen is locked, and that didn't last long. Um, all right, and then other things that I use often, like my file system, right there. Um, Terminal, right there. Um, Settings, system settings, control center, right there. I do use this. I'm surprised. I When I first started, I thought, you know what? In Windows, you don't really use it. Um, you don't. Pardon me. You don't go onto the control panel that often. Um, but here, there's always, not that there's always, but I just found that I've gone on here more often than normal, and I think it's because I play around a lot, right? I play around with monitor setups and configurations, and I always want to make things look better. Uh, now that I've done some crazy stuff like starting to do, well, when I started this channel, I'm doing face on camera in the office instead of being out like I was on odd jobs where I'm outside or in an environment that is not, it's not a studio environment. So I'm in the field or boots on the ground kind of thing. So now that I'm in here, I'm setting things up differently. I'm changing my appearance so that I have a darker screen so I don't get this reflectiveness. So if you see right now, the lens on this glass has got a bright light in it because I've got that screen that I'm looking at is white. So maybe I'm going to go into the appearance here and I'm going to themes, right? And maybe I want to go with a that's a desktop applications. Maybe I want to change this one here to something darker, right? And darker with the blues so that I get less of a glare on my glasses like this. That's better. So you know, I can work with that. I've always had it, I always found it awkward reading white on black, but I mean in this instance when I'm using it like this, it's actually a better feel. So I think I'm gonna leave that like that for now. There we go. So that was whoops, I closed everything off. I didn't mean to close it off. So that's one good thing. So I'll go on here on occasion and change things up, and it's not a bad deal. So that's good. All that's good. I'm gonna click on looking for drivers. It's, I don't understand. I was always under the impression that that Linux doesn't use drivers. Your computer does not need any additional drivers. That's good. It's good to know. So that means, I don't know. I thought they were all program based, but apparently not. So that's it. So I'm going on to, I guess this is just the whatever we call this thing, eh? It's, and then the software. This is I'm gonna click on software. Let's load up some software. See what we have. We're running Linux Mint at 22.1, and on here, of course, they have all different types of software, and I'm just floored by the amount of software or apps that we can just get to. I mean, it's crazy. What's that one there? Is it Whatsy? Oh, it's a WhatsApp web client for Linux desktop instead of WhatsApp. So this is for Linux users. Probably only Linux users will be on it. It's kind of cool. Discord is, well, we know what Discord is. Anyway, those are those things. Different kind of stuff. Yeah. Every now and then I just go on here just to see if there's anything that I'm missing. And not really. I mean, I know what I do and I know what I like. And I'm not one for like tons of software that I'm not going to use. I don't like to fill my system with stuff. That is the trap that you get into, I think, when you first move over to a new type of operating system, that you think you need all these things. And I mean, it's a good and there's a bad. I mean, with the Linux operating system, even though it runs, well, I'm not going to say even though, And this is the thing with Linux Mint, is that it doesn't open everything on the beginning and just sit there wait to be used. It's on demand. Everything's on demand. So the drivers don't have to be ready in the background. When you click on, say, I want to run this program, that's when it boots up the driver, and it's so fast. You don't even have to worry about it. So loading up all this software ahead of time it's kind of redundant in there, and so it saves a lot of. Keep doing that instead of just going back. Firefox. Am I going to uninstall Firefox? I'm thinking. So when it comes to web browsers, and this all depends on why you've left Windows or Mac or whatever operating system you were on, and when you migrate to Linux, I think there's 3 types of people that migrate to Linux. People that have old computers that don't want to throw them out and want to keep them usable and reasonably up to date. So they'll use it for Linux. They'll turn it into some kind of Linux server, media server, or data server, or storage devices, or whatever. Then there's the person that wants privacy and security, so they want to get away from Microsoft taking pictures of their screen. Apparently, this is awesome. Apparently, on Microsoft Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or whatever the heck it is they use. I don't know what they use anymore. They take a picture of your screen every 5 seconds, so that they know what you're doing, what you're looking at, so that they can sell you more products and services. Or is it so that they can target you with propaganda, stuff like that? Who knows? Anyway, so that's the second type of person. And the third type of person is the person that doesn't want to pay, or doesn't want to pay for software, basically. Microsoft years ago, and there's all kinds of it. Like Adobe did it. Hewlett Packard do it? Adobe did. Anyway, all these software companies that you have to pay for their service on a yearly thing, kind of thing, right? And so they migrate to Linux because it's all free and open software. People end up donating because, and here's the thing, when you get enough use out of something and you say, you know what, this has value to me, then you start paying for it. I've noticed this it happens with the software that you use. So you're using this free and open software, and you say, you know what, this is a great benefit to me. I'm going to donate to them because I want them to continue to provide me with what I need or what I enjoy using. And that's great. People aren't watching television like they used to. They're watching YouTube, stuff like this, believe it or not. And this is their form of entertainment. And so now they're supporting creators on YouTube or BitChute or Vimeo or Snapchat or whatever the heck. And they're supporting the creators that are creating them with the content that is their information. And that's really cool. That's awesome. So I think that's fantastic. Trying to get back to my point. So the three reasons to migrate to Linux was to resurrect old computers, to escape Big Brother, and to not pay for software. And that's great. I mean, it used to be, and the not paying for software isn't really not paying for software, it's being in control of the software. Because in the old days, you used to go to the store, you used to buy the software, the actual hard copy of the software. And it's the difference between a paper book, a hardcover book bound and paper that's on your shelf and a document that's on your computer, right? The hard copy and the virtual copy. So now we're using virtual softwares instead of the hard copy software that we used to have. And I mean, we used to have CDs coming out of yin-yangs of all this software, so that if something would happen, your computer crashed or corrupted, then it's like, oh, and it was nothing, you just reinstall with the CD or disk or what have you. But those days are long gone. But unfortunately, it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg to use the programs and software apps on Linux. This is the great benefit, and the developers that are developing them, they're like top notch. They're constantly being tested. They're constantly getting feedback. They're constantly seeing getting improvement for their devices, for their software, and probably that's why there's so many different distributions on Linux. Is because there's so many different flavors and so many different taste buds and so many different types of users. A lot of these distributions, they came out of a necessity of a certain industry, or a certain type of user. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic. I'm promoting Linux Mint at the moment. This is the distribution that when I first migrated to Linux, it was Ubuntu that was being recommended to me, because of course I ask around. Not that I know a lot of people, but I know a couple of people, a couple of computer geeks, and they were telling me, yeah, try Ubuntu, you'll be okay with Ubuntu. Yeah, not that hard to learn. And I it wasn't my cup of tea, so I had Ubuntu for about 2 days, and then this idea of Linux Mint popped up, and it was touted at the time as a very Windows friendly environment, and it's lived up to its name, and so I'm really thrilled with it, really thrilled. And I've installed the same operating system on, in my house it's on 2 laptops, and it's on 1, 2, 3, 4 desktops. Yeah. So between my wife and I and the different places in the house we have computers set up, we have those configurations. And seems to be pretty good. Everything's working, no problem. So let's get back to where I was. The applications or the programs that I use daily I store them down on the taskbar. Taskbar is down here on the bottom. They call it the panel. So this is just a little bit, we gotta get into the vernacular of Linux, the language. Things are different. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to remember what things are called in Windows. It's been a few years. 5 years to be exact that I've been away from Windows. I still have to dabble a little bit in it because my wife uses it on one of her computers. She still uses Windows, so she's a bit more adept to Windows thing than I am. But I am going to look at I will simply go like, these are all the categories of the apps that are on your computer, all applications, and then they just break it all down. So here on accessories, there's one accessory that I haven't added to my panel, and that's the calculator. So calculator performs arithmetic, scientific, and financial calculations, of course. I want to add it to the panel. I right mouse click. For you guys, the right mouse click is this finger, if you're right-handed. And then I'm going to scroll down to add to the panel, and I'm going to use this finger to click on it. So add to panel. Boom, there it is, right there. Calculator. Yay. Nice. So all of the ones that I use every day, or seemingly every day, are down here. Now here, the little blue line that's underneath, these are the open apps. Right, there's Irian webcam. So you get to see this. Irian webcam is, oh, it's a great program. Because if you don't have a built-in webcam on your, and who has a built-in webcam? On laptops, they have built-in webcams, right? But they get old very fast, and the technology is gone. So I'm using my retired Samsung S8 cell phone, and on it I have installed, let's see if I can do this. It's still working. It is. It's right here. Oh, you can't you can't see my cell phone. It says it's right here on the cell phone. It's right there. It says Irian webcam. Irian, IRIUN webcam, and that's what this one is. So I install it on my desk, on my computer, and I install it on my phone. They share a Wi-Fi connection, and Bob's your uncle. I've got a webcam. However, the downside of this is the I guess it's a lag time, because when I'm doing this, right, video recording, you can see it down there. I'm recording on OBS Studio. The lag time between my audio, which is wired into the computer, and my video, which is over Wi-Fi, is about half a second, a little less than half a second. So I have to do a little bit of adjustment, but that's okay, no problem. So those are all the ones I use. Firefox, I'm thinking of deleting that. Maybe just by memory, I'm going to say they've updated their terms and services, and simply put, they said we are collecting your data. However, we promise we won't sell it, kind of thing. A lot of people went in an uproar saying that Mozilla was, betraying their customers and blah blah blah, and on and on and on. And as far as I'm concerned, you can't complain about something you don't pay for. So like in the old days when we were streaming TV and we were using like one was it called One TV or something, I forget what the heck it was called, but you were streaming and it was like pirated, you were streaming pirated movies and TV series off of other underground servers, and people would complain about not being able to, oh, the stream was horrible and blah blah. You're not paying for it, it's free, right? So by not paying for it, you take away your right to complain about it. And that's how I feel about Firefox. So Firefox says that they are not going to sell your stuff. How much do you trust them, and do you want to use it? Because up until this point, people trusted Firefox for everything. They trusted, oh, it's secure. They're not going to share information. So save my password, save my banking information, save my credit card number, save it all. And then next thing you know, it's like, we don't trust them. Well, so fortunately, after Firefox is Brave. There's Brave over there. So I think I'm going to move him down here to put him beside the Firefox. There's Brave, and I'm going to put Chromium there too, so that my three internet browsers are all together. trying to migrate everything to Brave. However, YouTube is a big guy. Wait, what the heck happened here? Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna have to refresh. I hope it managed to upload my. Yeah, there it is. 5-year anniversary for Odd Jobs. He's there. Hasn't had any views yet, but that's okay. I don't worry about that stuff. I'll deal with him later. That's good. So I was using. That is the only window there, isn't it? Yeah, it's the only one that's open. 9 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm gonna close. YouTube, being that YouTube's owned by Google, everything's owned by Google. Chrome browser is the recommended browser that you use when you're up doing all the Google crap. So Chromium is the open source knockoff of the Chrome browser, and so we use that. I use that anyway to communicate with Google, and all my Google stuff. I just put it on there so that I'm not, cross-contaminating. So all my Gmail accounts are there. I'm using on Chromium. But my general browsing. Oh no! Did you just see that? The lights went out. Holy cow! Let's see if we can get them back. There they are. Come on back. Ah, a little bit touchy. Wow, a little glitch. That's me. Hear what I was saying. Yeah, I don't want to cross-contaminate, but eventually I want to get everything to Brave. I tried uploading a video today, a YouTube video on my YouTube Studio on the Brave browser, and it doesn't work as seamlessly, or it doesn't work as smoothly as I want it to. I think there's some stuff working in the background on the YouTube dashboard website that Brave is trying to not allow, and so there's some conflicts there. Maybe there's some workarounds. I don't know. And then Firefox, of course, this is just a recent thing within the last month, I think, where they went on about that. So that's it. It's done. Terminal. There's the terminal. I use it less and less and less and less. Because Linux, the Linux Mint support team is doing really, really good job of entering software into the repository. The repository is, well, just as it sounds, a place to store all of the software. So that's it. I may not be the best guy to talk about what the terminal does, but if you think about it, if you're my age or older, and probably maybe 10 years younger, you'll remember when even Windows was operated by a DOS, a disk operating system. And the disk operating system was a terminal-based command center. So you go in there and you type in all these commands, and it understands it, whether it's in whatever computer language that it was. I can't even remember them anymore. I took 2 computer classes when I was in high school because it was new, and we learned very basic stuff. And I never got into it. I never got into the computer stuff. So it's not until the last 5 years of doing YouTube stuff that I actually got into the computer stuff, where I was doing stuff like a bit of graphics, a bit of video manipulation and stuff like that. So I'm learning. And when you fly over to Linux, you just start copy and paste a lot of stuff to get going. When I first started, I think I was doing a lot of terminal work. Now, not really. Not. I don't remember the last time I opened up the terminal. No, with Linux Mint anyway. No, what happened? So that was the terminal. Warpinator. I went through Warpinator with you guys a while back. Originally, before I started this channel, Hooked on Linux, I see. I have a had a playlist on Odd Jobs, Remi Gauthier, which was the Hooked on Linux playlist, which became this channel. And we went over Warpinator. Warpinator is a network of file sharing software. And this I'm hoping I'm going to install this, I think, on my wife's Windows 10 machine, and we're going to see if we can transfer files from Linux Mint machine to her Windows machine. I'm going to let you know how that works out when I finally get her permission to put it on her machine. So that's Warpinator, but it's only within your network. I don't think, well, I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Warpinator. And there's my Android, there's my phone, my Galaxy S10, right there. Okay, Warpinator. I use it a lot. I don't know why I got this one here. It says here it could not start the video stream in the device because I'm using the Arian webcam already. This is whatever it's called. I can't. guvcview, guvcview, whatever. Some things, they come up with these weird names, but these are programmers and developers that come up with the names for these things. So they're not really that creative. They are very functional, utilitarian names. Like this is it might be a graphic user viewing control, where these are, that's what that thing means. I don't know what it means. I'm just making this up, but this is how they name things, and it's like, it's kind of weird. Why don't you just name it maxi view or webby view or cami view or something? It doesn't matter. Those were horrible names too, but they could name it something that at least we could pronounce. Anyhow, so I can't use it because hooked up to that camera. However, it does work with, where is it? Where did I put it? I think I took it off. I can't see. Can't see where I dropped it. Because it's mounted. I've got another camera mounted here that I use. I don't use it very often. Anyway, so that's what that is. I don't use that very often. But when I use it, it's I'm babbling on about this. I don't think you guys care. I have a USB camera, and I use this guvcview camera control. I use this thing because I can control that camera. It's resolution and the zoom features or whatever, right? So I don't record with it. I just set the camera and then I record it with something else. Anyway, you got to be a nerd to get into it. I do the firewall configuration. You got to log in for that, and I just turn the firewall on or off, on or off, on, off, on, off. When I'm transferring data from one computer to another, sometimes the firewall gets in the way. That's that. This is Simple Screen Recorder. This is an awesome program. if you like recording what you're doing on the screen, this is awesome. This isn't just for creators, okay? I recommend that when my wife is doing something like filling out forms online, that she records what she does, every keystroke. Because you know what? The guy on the other end of that is recording every keystroke. So this way, you know, if they say, if anything comes back on you, you've got an actual recording of what you've filled out, how you filled it out, and all that stuff, right? So screen recorders have a lot of good use when you're going somewhere online, especially when you're going somewhere online that you're not familiar with, and you want to be able to track where it's taking you. And Simple Screen Recorder does just that. Simple. And it's the setup was easy. I haven't even found a tutorial that could teach you better than figuring it out for yourself. It was easy. OBS, this is a creator studio. I'm really, something happened. I think the camera stopped. Did the camera stop? And yeah, so get onto that. A Virtualbox, that's an emulator. I started using this a few months ago just to try and figure out if I'm using the best best distribution of Linux, or if there's something else out there that I get better with. So let me just boot up there for a second. And so I downloaded the software for Arch, Fedora, Ubuntu, Mint, which, because I had it, I put it on there. This Ubuntu, which was no good, and Monjaro, and I've been trying these out on the computer as I go, and it was well, I haven't found anything better than Mint for what I use it for. So anyway, not yet. Audacity is another program I use. Sometimes I edit the audio or do voiceovers, especially with odd jobs. Remi Gauthier, I do a lot, not a lot, but every now and then I need to do some voiceovers because I get so heavy into the work, or there's wind noise, or all kinds of stuff. Audacity works really good for that. Kdenlive is my video editing software. I think I'm going to learn this a bit more and get into some more complicated editing effects and stuff, because I love doing that kind of stuff. But anyway, I haven't gotten there yet. Screenshot. This one I put here because I can press the button on the keyboard. There's a screenshot button on the keyboard. I think that's the same as on Windows. But it just takes a picture of the whole thing, and I've got 2 active screens. So sometimes I don't want to take 2 active screens. I want to have something a bit more, because the smaller the area, you get the better resolution of the photo or whatever. And so I use this one because I can take the screen, a window, or a selection. And so simple. GIMP, GNU image manipulation program. This is how they name these things. They're constant acronym kind of things. So at least this one here kind of made sense. GIMP. There's nothing gimpy about it though. It's absolutely this is an absolutely amazing piece of free and open software. It's I never could I tried in the Windows days to use Photoshop, and I could not wrap my head around it. I never understood it. But GIMP is it rivals Photoshop. So it's great. Anyway, if you're don't have to worry about that one. Of course, calculator we just put there. and this one is LibreOffice. LibreOffice Suite is a free and open software suite which has all of the great stuff that Microsoft Office has, and none of the bugs. There's no, these things don't crash. Not crashing. Anyway, I think I've used enough of our time today going over some of the stuff with Linux Mint. I like Linux Mint. I think everybody should start out with Linux Mint, because it's going to give you the least amount of transition time going from Windows to the free and open environment that Linux has. One thing you notice that I don't have on my computer is antivirus protection. It just doesn't exist, because that free and open software thing, it never happens. It just doesn't. Nobody writes those programs. None. It's it. Doesn't happen. So I haven't even heard anybody in the Linux community talk about antivirus protection. So no matter what you think you know about, Linux, it's really, I'm gonna say it's kind of like Mexico, where our handlers tell us that Mexico is dangerous, so you don't go to Mexico to experience the freedom. And our handlers will tell us that Linux is full of hackers and anarchists, so that you don't leave Windows for the absolute freedom of Linux. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to wrap that up. If you found this interesting, sure, hook up. You know what? I have this thing with, when I do my odd jobs videos, I always say, if this helped you, hit the super thanks. But I'm not monetized here yet. That's going to take a little bit of work, so get on it. Subscribe, share it with your friends, send the videos far and wide. This is a great place to be. Anyway, thanks for watching Hooked on Linux. We'll see you next time.